Okay, we're steaming into Gibraltar. It's just there behind me. Very exciting. It's been a great cruise so far, and Doug and I get off to do our first tour today, going through the World War II tunnels. So, ladies and gentlemen, Gibraltar.
We're just docking at Gibraltar. Gibraltar's only about 2.75 miles long and has a population of 28,000. And behind me is Spain. Gibraltar is just the peninsula of a rock that sticks out and borders Spain, which is behind me where I'm building those. So again, it's quite amazing. These are naval guns on Gibraltar. They were established in the 50s, I think. They're off an old Navy boat and they were never fired, but they're strategically placed to protect the runway, which is down the bottom. I can fire at the runway, ocean, land, sea, everything. It's just huge.
The tunnels. And all the stone that was taken from the tunnels was pushed into the sea to build the airport. The airport was built to support the war in North Africa in 1942. We still use the same airport today, but the strange thing about Gibraltar's airport is that the road from Spain goes across the middle of the airport, so every time a plane comes they have to close the road and all the cars have to wait. Normally we only have 4 or 5 civilian flights each day, so it's not normally a problem, but a few times a year the military come here to practice, and when the military are here they close that road for an hour or longer. Most of the food was tins of food that was brought from England, so typically tins of meat and beans, but they also brought fruit from North Africa, bananas and oranges. Because the men lived inside the tunnels, they didn't get much sunlight, so they had to have lots of extra vitamins to stay healthy. The sleeping rooms were made of corrugated iron. Each sleeping room was for 200 soldiers to sleep in, but those men slept in 3 groups of 70 at a time. So 3 men shared 1 bed in 24 hours, so the bed was always warm. It's interesting that the sleeping rooms have windows and curtains. That seems very strange. The reason was psychological. When the men went inside the tunnels, they could close the curtains and think that they were outside, so it stopped them from going crazy. And they also had these sleeping rooms because it rains inside Gibraltar. It's the stone is limestone, so when we get the heavy rain in the winter outside, 2 or 3 weeks later the water comes through. Where the water and the light are close together. Back in 1940, when it rained, the water went into these channels and was taken away. Today we have a river that comes down there in the winter because they put this in the summer. They forgot what the tunnels are like in winter, so that's progress. So in the men's bedrooms as well, the floor there is on a slope. The bed was a simple wooden frame. It's called Clapham Junction. The real Clapham Junction is in London, in England. It's a train station. From there the trains go in every direction. So the British soldiers said this has got to be the Clapham Junction for Gibraltar, because from here the tunnels go in every direction. So it was a memory of back in England. And the airport in 1940 was only very short, so even small planes like this had problems. So they had these special machines to break the stone into small pieces, and then they push those stones into the sea to make the runway. Today the runway is just over a mile, or 1,800 metres long. On the right hand side, that's the Protestant section. The buildings here by the football field, that's the only military camp in Gibraltar today. During the war, 17,000 military here. Today, there's only about 500. So today, Army, Air Force and Navy all share that one camp. And then if you